if you wanna look at it that way. And so it would be the elements. And so these elements with the crystals these crystals only pretty much had different levels of potential energy, you can say, like different amplification. And so it would amplify, if you used it correctly, it would amplify the environment. It would cause all the other atoms and everything to spin faster. Now, it could do that to you because you are also conductive of that. And you also have piezoelectric properties in your side of your skeleton. And you have them in your body. You even have them in your skin. There's a lot of crystalline piezoelectric, hardware in your body. And so all this would do is amplify the energy. When I say amplify, it's kind of like it increases the voltage of how much, energy you could carry. And the more you would carry, it would accelerate everything in you. It would accelerate just you. It could be in a good way or it could be in a bad way. Couldn't really predict it because every person had their own attributes. They were born into this world with a frozen like dependencies that are attributes, kind of like in a video game where you're stuck with these genetics, you're stuck with this DNA, but the way that they can be expressed is through amplitude, and then through your physiological processes and through your physiological connection, through your endocrine system, neurotransmitters, and through your hormones. And so at whatever levels that you were born with at which these were producing, they would actually stimulate your organs. And if your organs are stimulated, kind of like if you were squeezing and opening and squeezing and opening, or squeezing the muscle and then letting go, it's kind of like a contraction. So the contraction would almost squeeze out, these chemicals. And so the more of these chemicals that you would have would be, the better you would probably feel, or maybe it would be the worst that you would feel. But majority of the time, these are like dopamine, serotonin, testosterone, estrogen, all of these things. And majority of the time, whenever you're amplifying this, you're feeling, better. And so you're also producing, it's all connected to your endocrine system. And so if your endocrine system is being amplified, that means that you're better, suited to handle disease, cancers, and all this other stuff, right? And so